Could you play...
One of the best examples of that is being John Malkovich. Where I literally like...
Jesus left me in the hospital bed. He left me to die, but I had insurance. And Moses said, you're not a landsman, but you buy retail. And I said, no, I got a wholesale hospital bed. Jesus left me in a hospital, but I had an email in the operating room. Satan and Hitler came by for snapshots. Marilyn Monroe came in a witch's broom. That was the first operation. Then the second time around, they took away my bladder and my prostate, but it really didn't matter. They left my lesbian fingers on my trembling hand. Now I can almost be a lesbian man. Call me Robocop, call me Robocop, call me Robocop tonight. Robocop and Marlene Dietrich, I'll do you as both of them. Does anybody have a question about old Hollywood? Seriously, that's what my job is tonight, to do Q&A about movies from, let's say, Frankie Darro. Does anyone remember Frankie Darro or Charlie Chase? Raise your hand, please. Charlie Chase was the John Carradine version of Charles Chaplin. He wasn't tiny enough to be lovable. Does that qualify me as an expert yet? Frankie Darro was too short to be a leading man. Therefore, height played havoc with both careers. And this is a little vignette about it. Play, Kramer. Hey, Charlie, I need some of your height. Hey, Frankie, my pants won't fit your legs that right. So Frankie Darro and Charlie Chase, B-movies and shorts, that was their pace. They didn't have any scandal connected to their names, and that's why they both turned insane. Now yell out a name from yesterday in the 40s, somebody please.
Oliver Hardy.
Oliver Hardy. Go. Well, the lead singer of Three Dog Night was Danny Hutton, very handsome. And he had a girlfriend named June Fairchild, who later made love to Clint Eastwood. She was in Pretty Maids All in a Row, directed by Roger Vadim. And one day, she met a man who looked like Oliver Hardy in a band from Memphis. And the lead singer looked like the fat guy. What was his name? Well, then I was right. Oliver Hardy stole June away from Danny, and Danny gave her gonorrhea. Her house burned down. She was doing a movie with Clint Eastwood. He told her he once was poor himself to work in a gas station. He got laid that night, and she moved to Memphis, and the guy who looked like Oliver lost his record deal. He was on Hanna-Barbera Records. June is at St. Vincent's Hospital having a kidney operation today under the name June Utley. And she made 22 movies, but she was never a star. I took her to a party once as her brother, And Rod Serling picked her up, and I had to get a ride home on a bicycle built for two by a gay guy who was a midget. No, he did not get lucky. Is there somebody in the back who wants to yell out a name of B-movie yes to your please? A little bit of minor chord. French Chateau was married to Barbara Payton, right? And the other guy in the triangle was Tom Neal. So on the 4th of July weekend in 1952, Tom Neal beat the shit out of French Chateau. And Barbara left with Mr. Neal. Here's the epitaph. But very few people know when Francia was one of Joan Crawford's husbands, remember that? He paid the blackmailers every year of the marriage because she had dirty masturbation photos taken in the greenhouse of the White House with Calvin Coolidge, who was the President of the United States. Chorus. You get all the news that's print to print, that's fit to print, all the scandals that you ever want to know tonight. I need another name. They were giving us 25 minutes.
Lord McCall.
Humphrey, are you really in your 40s? Humphrey, I'm Jewish, is that a problem? God, I hope you're circumcised, Humphrey. And Humphrey said, the current broad I married to is older than me, you'll be just fine, baby. My name is Kim Fowley, this is Cliff Vitale. And my real mother, not Elizabeth Aston is my night nurse, but my real mother is Shelby Payne, who is the girl in The Big Sleep to the left of Humphrey in the cigarette girl scene. So I got all the gossip from her on the set when I was her cock blocker at Warner Brothers as a 5-year-old. And here's what Humphrey and Lauren used to do, because Howard Hawks was the director, right or wrong? Of course I'm right, that's why I'm here tonight. Play. Humphrey, put the toupee back on. Lauren, you're 19. Go to his trailer. Get him ready for the scene. Beatle chords, make it simple. Humphrey, I'm like a schoolgirl who chain smokes. It's no joke, I'll marry you. I'll be your widow through and through. 10 years or so, you know, Sinatra will hit on me. I won't have sex with John Wayne, that's a given. But you can't be too sure about David Niven. As far as Elizabeth Scott's concerned, that's a bridge that has been burned. Oh, Humphrey, you're my sweet older man. Now here's the epilogue. Oh, Brian Wilson this time. Now when Jason Robards came to call, she said, you're no Humphrey, it's sort of small, but you'll die at the right time, it'll be a really good career move. So goodbye. Next name, please.
Randy Scott.
Randy Scott and Cary Grant were roommates. They lived at the Jonathan Club down on PCH. They were roommates. Chord change. And before Cary married the heiress, and before Randy was a cowboy actor, their house guest was not Fred Astaire. They said was a Max Factor. You never know about a three-way. Randolph Scott became a guy in the Bees, but he had a nice smile. He was a cheeseburger version of Gary Cooper. I need another name, please.
William Holden.
Wait, say it again.
William Holden.
Did you notice when Ronald Reagan was married, his best man was William Holden? Did you notice when John Wayne died of cancer, the very next week Ronald Reagan's points went up in the polls? And William Holden died alone in Santa Monica. His drinking got too much, but I remember Picnic, and I remember Golden Boy. He should have stuck with Barbara Stanwyck, and she shouldn't have gone with Robert Taylor. Bye-bye, William Holden. You died an Irishman's death all alone, because the lady was in the bottle, and no one shared your hotel home. Goodbye, William Holden. Next name.
Serge Gainsbourg.
Oh. Come and introduce it in French. In French, introduce me as the new Serge.
Vous avez ici un nouveau Serge Gainsbourg ce soir.
Say, I'm a beautiful man in French.
I'm a beautiful man. You? C'est un bel homme, c'est un très bel homme.
She got $100 for that. Okay. Now I get to see Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin, old ancient cock and young vagina. Nothing could be finer than Carolina. He chain smoked. He put out the cigarettes and Janie's soul. Then he drank from her glory censer. And he said, I'll make you important if you let me abuse you. I'm like your father, you're my daughter. They had a daughter, and she made a record with Beck in Silver Lake. Somewhere up in hell, Serge Gainsbourg and Elvis are walking along talking about this. And Serge says, what do you think of Michael Jackson being your son-in-law? Well, what do you think about Beck? He didn't even use the drum set.